All right, the big story we're staying with right now on India Today, the twin leaf symbol of the AIADMK has been frozen by the Election Commission of India. Through the day, we had seen both the factions of the AIADMK, one led by Shashikala or E. Palanisamy, call it what you will, and the other led by O. Selvam, staking claim to the two leaf symbol. In fact, right now we have TTV Dinakaran speaking. Let's listen in.
எந்தவித மாற்றமும் இல்லையா?
துளி அளவு மாற்றமில்லை. நாளை காலை 11 மணிக்கு நான் அங்கே மனு தாக்கல் செய்கிறேன்.
சார், இப்போ மக்கள் கிட்ட இப்போ உங்களுடைய அதிமுக தொண்டர்கள் இரட்டை சின்னம் கிடைக்கப்படாம இருக்கிறதுனால மிகப்பெரிய ஒரு இயக்கத்தில் இருப்பாங்க. இதை எப்படி போக்குவதற்கான சாத்தியம் என்ன விஷயங்கள் கொண்டு போவீங்க, எப்படி முன்னிறுத்தி போவீங்க, அவங்க நம்பிக்கை இருக்குமா? அதாவது சின்னம் போய்விட்டதுன்னு ஒரு இது
ஏற்கனவே இது போன்ற அனுபவத்தை கடந்து வந்தவர்கள் தான் அனைத்து இந்திய அண்ணா திராவிட முன்னேற்ற கழக தொண்டர்கள். அதனால் அவர்கள் அனைவரும் ஒற்றுமையுடன் இருந்து இந்த தேர்தலிலே நாங்கள் போராடி வெற்றி பெற்று மீண்டும் இரட்டை இலை சின்னத்தை நாங்கள் பெறுவோம் என்பதை மீண்டும் உங்களுக்கு உறுதியோடு அனைத்து இந்திய அண்ணா திராவிட முன்னேற்ற கழகத்தின் தொண்டர்களின் சார்பாக தெரிவித்துக் கொள்கிறேன்.
அந்த காலகட்டம் போல இந்த காலகட்ட தொண்டர்களும் இருப்பாங்க. ஏன்னா இரண்டு மனநிலையிலும் இருப்பது போன்ற ஒரு நிகழ்வு தான் தொடர்ச்சியாக மாறி மாறி வந்துட்டு இருக்கு. அதே
இரண்டு அவர்கள் ஒரே மனநிலை. அம்மா அவர்களின் தொண்டர்கள், புரட்சித் தலைவர் எம்ஜிஆர் அவர்கள் கண்ட இயக்கத்தின் தொண்டர்கள் ஒரே மனநிலையில் தான் இருப்பார்கள். அவர்கள் எல்லோரும் ஒன்றாக எங்களுடன் இருக்கிறார்கள். நாங்கள் நிச்சயம் இந்த தேர்தலிலே போராடி வெற்றி பெறுவோம். அதுபோல இரட்டை இலை சின்னத்தையும் மீட்டெடுப்போம். அப்படி நான் நினைக்கவில்லை.
சார், ஆர்கே நகர் மக்களுக்கும் கட்சி தொண்டர்களுக்கும் இந்த சின்னம் முடக்கப்பட்டு இருக்கக்கூடிய இந்த சமயத்தில் சொல்லக்கூடிய செய்தி என்னவா?
இதே தெய்வம் மாண்புமிகு அம்மா அவர்கள் வெற்றி பெற்ற முதல்வரான தொகுதி ஆர்கே நகர் சட்டமன்ற தொகுதி. அம்மா அவர்களின் அரசாங்கம் தமிழகத்தில் நடைபெற்றுக் கொண்டிருக்கின்றது. அம்மா அவர்கள் ஆர்கே நகர் தொகுதியை இந்தியாவிலேயே சிறந்த தொகுதியாக, முன்னுதாரணமான தொகுதியாக அதை உருவாக்க வேண்டும் என்று அம்மா அவர்கள் அன்றைக்கு அறிவித்தார்கள். அம்மா அவர்களின் கனவை நினைவாக்குவதற்காக நாங்கள் அங்கே போட்டியிடுகின்றோம். மீண்டும் அந்த தேர்தலிலே எங்களுக்கு வாக்களிப்பதன் மூலம் அனைத்து இந்திய அண்ணா திராவிட முன்னேற்ற கழகத்தின் வேட்பாளராகிய எனக்கு, அம்மா அவர்களின் வேட்பாளராகிய எனக்கு வாக்களிப்பதன் மூலம் அம்மா அவர்களின் அரசாங்கத்தின் அனைத்து திட்டங்களும் அவர்களை அடைந்து நாங்கள் நிச்சயம் வெற்றி பெறுவோம். அதற்கு அவர்கள் ஒத்துழைப்பார்கள் என்பது எனக்கு தெரியும்.
இப்போ இத்தனை சூழல்ல ஒரு தேர்தல் ஆணையத்திடம் சில ஆவணங்கள் தவற விட்டோம் என்று நினைக்கிறீங்களா? அதாவது எதை முன்வைக்க பல ஆவணங்கள் வைக்கப்பட்டோம்,
எல்லா ஆவணங்களையும் கொடுத்து விட்டோம். ஆனால் முடிவு இதுபோல் வரும் என்று நாங்கள் எதிர்பார்க்கவில்லை.
மீண்டும் சின்னத்தை நீங்கள் பெறுவதற்கான சாத்தியக்கூறுகள், வாய்ப்புகள் லீகலா எந்த அளவுக்கு இருக்குன்னு நினைக்கிறீங்க?
நிச்சயம் லீகலாக சட்டப்படி நாங்கள் அதை போராடி வெற்றி பெறுவோம் என்றுதான் சொன்னேன். அதை பற்றியெல்லாம் நாங்கள் மற்றவர்களுடன் அதை பற்றியெல்லாம் நாங்கள் கலந்து ஆலோசித்து அடுத்த கட்ட நடவடிக்கை.
All right, Editor Shivarur with us on the phone line. So you had TTV Dinakaran there putting up a brave face and saying that this will not have any effect on the RK Nagar by-poll, but it will, won't it, Shiv?
This is a huge googly that the Election Commission has thrown right before that very, high voltage, emotionally charged and important constituency battle in the RK Nagar by-poll. Padmaja, you've reported from the ground, so you know how, emotionally charged the issue surrounding the two-leaf symbol of the AIADMK already is. It's something that dates back to the time of Annadurai and MGR, and it's something that they are extremely emotional and protective about. So the fight over the election symbol now being, put in, in sort of suspended animation by the Election Commission, basically telling both the factions, the Sasikala faction as well as the OPS faction.
All right, Shiv, coming back to you, sorry for interrupting earlier. Now, Dinakaran says they're going to explore all legal options, but the fact is the window for them to do that is extremely small.
It's an extremely small window, you're right. April 17th is the date by which they need to submit their fresh cases taking claim to the symbol. So it cuts it really fine with the RK Nagar by-poll. The reason why political observers are seeing this as probably a very fair decision by the Election Commission, Padmaja, is now, you've got both of these factions. Since there was no empirical way to really judge who had a more legitimate claim over that particular symbol, given that an election has not happened since then. The Election Commission has basically said, fight this election on separate symbols, not the two leaves of the AIADMK, and that could be a process of establishing perhaps which faction, can stake a greater claim to that particular symbol. Now, whether that actually happens after the RK Nagar bypoll is not known just now. What we can say for sure is that this is going to be a vicious battle. You've got Dinakaran, on already a controversial character, saying that they're going to go to the Supreme Court. The O. Pannirselvam camp, which believes that it is the legitimate, lineage or as far as the AIADMK is concerned, and successors of, Jayalalitha, they should have the symbol. This is, make no mistake, in the run-up to the RK Nagar bypoll is only the circumstance and the background of where this war is actually taking place. The fact is, even without such an election as a backdrop, the fight for this election symbol, would have been vicious. It could lead to street battles. Like Dinakaran said, there was a fight over this symbol over 10 years ago as well. So this is something that's hugely emotionally charged, something that the AIADMK cadres feel very, very strongly about. The two leaves have a lot of political importance, and a throwback to Annadhurai and MGR, like I mentioned earlier. So with all of these new characters, remember that Jayalalitha is out of the picture. Sasikala is in jail. So all of the people now fighting over the, fighting over the AIADMK symbol are all people that many cadres will see as unworthy. So that's another very important thing to keep in mind as we see what the next step really is.
And in fact, if we were just to talk about the bypoll, there would be one party which would be sitting very pretty today, that is the DMK, because it's almost like a redux of what happened in '89, where both Janaki Ramachandran and Jayalalitha were denied the party symbol. The resultant beneficiary was the DMK, which won hands down at the time. The DMK will certainly be hoping that that history repeats itself now.
When we were covering this story last month, Padmaja, in Chennai, remember the DMK, the sounds that were emanating from the DMK, smelling and sniffing the troubled waters within their rival, the AIADMK, was very legitimate. The fact is, with Jayalalitha gone, all bets are off as far as political power is concerned. Jayalalitha is no more. Sasikala is in jail. She's been, perhaps at least for the foreseeable future, politically discredited and obviously can't do anything from jail. The other persons, apart from, while Pannirselvam has had a certain flourish of public sentiment and public support, that appears to have been squandered, at least for the moment, in the run-up to this particular bypoll. What happens here, nobody can really tell. But you're absolutely right. Under Stalin, they definitely sniffed trouble here. They definitely sniffed the opportunity of discrediting these squabbling factions of the AIADMK and gaining from it, in a high-profile, bypoll like the RK Nagar constituency, but also going forward, in winning public support, winning public sentiment, and making way for, building a case towards the next election in Tamil Nadu. Remember the 2016 election, which Jayalalitha won after she was exonerated in a case which he was subsequently, of course, convicted in. The DMK was crushed in Tamil Nadu. They were virtually a non-entity in terms of performance. They were discredited. They were criticized for having too much attention being paid to the center, ignoring the state, corruption charges, lack of administration, misgovernance, etc., etc. So this is a real chance for them to try and establish themselves, not under Karunanidhi, but someone like Stalin, who has a youthful image, a person who's seen as having alacrity as far as governance is concerned and cracking down on corruption. So you're absolutely right when you say the DMK is sniffing a huge opportunity in this fight here.
Absolutely. And in fact, just stay with me, Shiv, because I also want to bring in Akshaya, who's reporting right now from Chennai. Just look at the people who are in the fray right now from RK Nagar. Akshaya, you've got Madhusudanan, who is from the OPS faction. You've got a local fielded, not a very well-known face, but a local nonetheless from RK Nagar, fielded by the DMK. In this entire equation, with the two-leaf symbol gone from both the factions, it will be Mr. Dinakaran who will be left squirming, Akshaya, won't he?
Well, Padmaja, it's a very interesting candidate list that has come out. In fact, we have to even consider the BJP's candidate, Gangai Amaran, also. He's a very prominent personality. His face is very well known among the people of Tamil Nadu. He has been in the film fraternity, and we cannot...
And he's been given a leg up by Rajnikant as well, no less.
Exactly, and he is a face that is well known for the people, and we cannot separate film fraternities from politics in Tamil Nadu. We've seen that MGR is from a film background, Jayalalitha has been from a film background. In fact, even M. Karnanidhi is from a film background. He still continues to write scripts for the movies. So with that also, we need to give an equal opportunity for Gangai Amaran as well. But talking about Dinakaran versus Madhusudanan, Madhusudanan is a better known face in R.K. Nagar, and in fact, it was seen that even during Jayalalitha's time, whenever she was campaigning, one of the chief persons to always be with her was Madhusudanan. And DMK's candidate again, he is a local representative from R.K. Nagar. He is a very stronghold candidate. And in fact, one of the reasons why Shimla Muthuchoran, the earlier candidate who had contested against Jayalalitha, was ruled out was because of the prominence that the new candidate of the DMK has given out is having in the constituency, Padmaja.
Absolutely. Akshaya, just stay with me because we're going to try and play again that first reaction we got from TTV Dinakaran just a while ago, completely unfazed, or at least he's putting up a brave face saying that they are going to approach the High Court. They are going to take legal recourse and they will try and claim the two-leaf symbol all over again. Also, Shiv, I want to bring you in on the larger question. If it were just about the numbers or who enjoys the majority support within the party, like in the case of Akhilesh Yadav, the symbol should have gone to the Dinakaran camp. That did not happen. Can we then take today's decision as a larger comment by the Election Commission on the validity of Shashikala and Dinakaran's appointment, and these appointments not adhering to the party's bylaws?
It's a very good question. I think it goes precisely to the root of that. Remember the OPS camp, under Madhusudanan, who was the former presidium chairman of the AIADMK, Padmaja, have told the Election Commission that many of the decisions, including the appointment of Dinakaran, including the appointment of Sasikala herself and several other functionaries within the AIADMK, are null and void because bylaws have not been followed. So if any of those decisions becomes basically infructuous, then it becomes ambiguous which the real AIADMK is. You've got letters that have been written by OPS, to banks, telling them not to honor checks because he continues to be the treasurer of the AIADMK. So in the midst of all this very material sort of crossfire between the two camps, the Election Commission, which is a body with limited powers as far as arbitration is concerned, has probably taken the only sensible decision it possibly can right before a crucial bypoll like R.K. Nagar. The Election Commission, let's be very clear and let's be honest with ourselves, knows precisely what an emotive issue the R.K. Nagar bypoll is going to be. They do know that both these factions will try and capitalize as much as possible on the legacy of Jayalalitha. That symbol is not going to play it's going to play no small part in, garnering those votes. So right now you're going to have the rising sun of the DMK and the lotus symbol of the BJP, ironically, which will be the most recognizable symbol in the EVMs, Padmaja. Whichever symbols the Dinakaran camp or the Sasikala camp and the OPS camp choose right now, it's going to be very interesting to see what possible symbols can they think of now, and can they get it out there and get people aware fast enough to actually, get the kind of votes that they're thinking of. And do people really want to vote for two separate factions? Have decided on which faction they'd rather go with? So I have a feeling the Election Commission has taken the fairest possible decision in the circumstances, especially since it is unclear. Both have built very powerful cases against each other about which has a legitimate claim, both over the symbol as well as on the AIADMK itself.
Just stay with me, Shiv, because I want to tell our viewers what they're seeing on your screens, what they are seeing on their screens right now is the order copy from the Election Commission. Now, 3 critical points that we have highlighted on this order. The first point is that neither of the two groups led by the petitioners, which is E. Madhusudanan, Selvam and Semmalai, and the respondents, which is Shashikala and Dinakaran, will be permitted to use the name of the party, which is All India Anna Dravid Munedra Kazhagam. So basically that means the original name AIADMK cannot be used by either faction. The second is that neither of these two groups can be permitted to use the symbol of 2 leaves that is reserved for the AIADMK. Third point, both the groups shall be known by such names as they may choose for their respective groups, showing, if they so desire, linkage with their parent party, the AIADMK, which basically simplified means that they can choose a name which will include AIADMK but will not be AIADMK alone. It could be something like AIADMK OPS or AIADMK Shashikala, but not the AIADMK per se. And finally, that both the groups shall be allotted different symbols as they may choose from the list of free symbols notified by the EC. And we're going to talk in detail about that to my colleagues Shiv, Pramod and Anoop, who continue to be with us. We are hoping to get Anoop and Pramod back with us on the line. But before that, let me quickly play out for you the first reaction that we got from TT Vidyanakaran, the man who has been delivered a setback by the Election Commission, first on India Today. Now, what is interesting, Shiv, is that speaking to us a while ago, a spokesperson of the OPS camp claimed that they are going to first try and stake claim to the rooster symbol, which had been used, interestingly, by Jayalalitha when she was fighting with Janaki Ramachandran. So, in more ways than one, we are seeing all of these parallels from 89 come back in 2017.
Those parallels have been crashing into 2017 for a few weeks now, Padmaja. The reference to the Janaki Ramachandran versus Amma fight that happened in 89 is something that has constantly come up as as a parallel. Though a lot of people don't really buy the any comparison that involves Amma on the one hand and any of these characters on the other, because none of them carry the kind of enormous and absolute political clout that she had at her command. However, given that, during that particular year, the DMK is the party that actually gained from the entire fracas within the AIADMK, I think the point you made about the DMK hoping for a redux of what happened at that time is not something that is very far-fetched. The DMK has been wanting to fish in troubled waters for a while now. They believe that referencing what happened at that time means that it could happen again in the future. And they don't think that any of these characters, Sasikala's camp or the OPS camp, has been able to capitalize enough on the power that they already have to trump the other.
All right, Shiv, for now, thanks very much for joining us. Thanks also to my colleagues Anoop and Pramod Madhav for breaking that story first. Right here on India Today, you'll hear the very latest from this new bout in the AIADMK power struggle. You can get every detail, as always, on India Today. Heading into a quick break, the news will continue.